You're looking at the Zuber Specimen Trimmer MP5. Right now I have equipped on this bad boy the extra fine chisels. This beast was manufactured in Germany and it gives a max pressure of 5 kp. What we're doing today is we are chopping up a beautiful plate of Frosterley. I'm going to walk you through my process, how this really works, and why I think we are some of the top trimmers, at least in the United States. So what you see me doing here is I'm actually feeling for small spots within the specimen where I think I will be able to go in and get a clean cut. So your first cut is the most important. That sets you up for success along the future. I know this seems like an esoteric practice, but I'm actually really studying the specimen at this point. I'm feeling the specimen. I'm getting to know the landscape of the specimen. What I'm feeling for are parts of the specimen that have like crevices, basically where when the pressure is exerted, it's going to split really cleanly. And what you're going to see in a second is the result of sort of my experience in the past year of really using the Zuber 5 to 10 times a day. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, this is just more of an art than a science, but I promise there is a science to this. Now, watch what happens here. So right now there's pressure being exerted along the lateral line that I found within the specimen. And this is where the magic really happens and where experience counts when you're trimming specimens. Boom, look at that. A perfect line, and most of the fluorite has not been damaged. But here you can see where I found that depression where that perfect pressure was exerted and really split this specimen perfectly. So the next step I'm doing is I'm trying to find the next depression. So I'm looking along the outside, I'm looking at the different depression points, and again, I'm getting to know the landscape. Now look at this part. It has that beautiful depression, and I'm really looking at the aesthetics, and I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to split this bottom part off. I think that would make a perfect miniature, and it will set me up. See, while I'm doing this, I'm also thinking of future cuts, and I'm like, this will set me up for my future cuts. Because then I can apply a 90-degree cut at that bottom point and really get a nice cut after this cut. So let's see what happens here. Boom, a perfect cut right along that depression point. Now, I know it seems like this is a violent process, but it's only falling a short amount and it's pretty much okay. So now I have that piece, and again, I'm looking at a perfect lateral cut. Oh, and then I'm finding again that depression right there that I wanted to go into right after that next cut. So, and I'm feeling it with my hands. And again, you really got to get to know the landscape of any specimen that you're cutting. It's not just looking at it, it's really feeling for it. And this is a case on this specimen where I had a really rough time trying to figure it out. I'm really feeling this crevice here, thinking if I can go in with 2 cuts, if I can kind of get that sort of mountain range looking area. And I don't think I really got a lot into it, but let's see what I do here. I think I'm going for that crevice right there to see if I can split this in half. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going for that depression that was right above the mountainous region. And this one was somewhat explosive. There we go. Perfect cut. And then this one I left alone afterwards. You can see this is a beautiful specimen. And one thing I like is I did keep that beautiful focal crystal on the right intact. And then this one here is a beautiful little, almost like a Druzy Dreams. I know it's not, but there we go. And then we have the other plate. And again, I can feel these 2 depression points right here. I really like those. And I'm going to go in probably right here and clip off that section right there. I can feel it. You really feel it with your hands. After a while, you really get to know the feeling of what will crack, what will not crack, and what's going to have a really nice clean cut. And so you see me going in here and let's see what happens. And just lining it up nice and clean. And when I line it up, I really try not to line it up too close to a focal crystal, because there's always that risk that the focal crystal will take damage. And if I remember, this one was a hard cut, meaning it did have a lot of force to cut it. Oh, and this one came out quite nice. One thing I didn't like is that this wasn't as clean of a cut as I liked it. So I'm gonna chop off that little squiggly tail. I know I didn't like that one. I remember this now. So let's go ahead and do a quick haircut on this one. And that's gonna come off pretty easily because it is so small and so short. And that should take only a couple pumps there. There we go. Super easy. And then we have a lovely little miniature. All right, so now we have a really, really nice, clean cutting landscape to deal with lots of nice depressions we can go in. This part is gonna split so nicely. I can already feel it right there. You can almost just sink your teeth in right there. Yep, that's exactly which way I'm gonna go in. I can feel it, and I'm gonna be able to maintain those two focal crystals on the side. I'm feeling pretty confident at this point. I can tell by the way my hands are moving around this specimen. And so I'm setting up that chisel right between those two focal crystals. And I'm setting them up very carefully here. You don't want to set them up too close to your focal crystals. And let's see what happens here. I'm pretty sure I got a pretty clean cut. Oh, this one was a little tough. I remember this one. Yeah, you see that? You see the pressure kicking back on the hydraulics? And the hydraulic system here is fueled by oil. Yeah, this one was a lot of fun. So this one was a big pop. So I probably could have gone into this one a little bit less aggressively, but it does eventually pop and give way. And I might have risked a little bit too much going in this aggressively, but it did yield good results, which you'll see in a second. There we go. So we have two pieces. Luckily, not too much damage occurred on this, but again, like I said, I did go in a little bit aggressively, a little bit aggro with this one. Luckily, the focal crystals were not damaged, but you can see here why it took a lot of effort. You saw that big rise in the matrix. That's really where I went a little, let's say I could have done this a little bit better. But the second one, I decided to go in and trim this one up a little to get a few more smaller pieces, which you'll see in a second. If I did this again, I probably would have started on the opposite side of this specimen. So again, this is all about learning how to best cut a specimen. Not every cut is going to be perfect, and that's part of the big learning process that you go through. And there we have it. You've got this beauty right here. We maintained a beautiful focal crystal right in the center. And then right here on this one, you have that beautiful cluster right in the center, which I really, really love. And this one is just so perfect. All right. And I believe that is the end, the play-by-play of our pieces that we cut from the beautiful Frosterley plate. And what would it be without a preview in the sunlight? So Frosterley doesn't change as rapidly or as like with Vavoom as like Truffle Pig or Greedy Hog, but it does have a beautiful little bit of blue in the sunlight, and these are no exception. These are really cute. These will be available on Thursday. And again, these are mini Frosterley fluorites from the Diana Maria mine. So thanks for joining. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.